solve this data sufficiency question, we'll go ahead and consider each statement separately first and then together if needed. So the question asks us, is x greater than y? So while we're going through and considering each statement separately, we're essentially looking for whether x is greater than y. So let's start with statement 1. We're given that x minus 1 and y plus 1 are consecutive integers, but we are not given which is greater than the other. Thus, there are exactly two scenarios we need to consider. So let's consider each of those scenarios. The first is if x minus 1 is less than y plus 1. Then since they are consecutive, we have that x minus 1 plus 1 will equal y plus 1, since they're consecutive. We go ahead and combine like terms, so x is equal to y plus 1. And since y plus 1 is greater than y, we have that x is greater than y. So in this case, we would have that it's sufficient, but we do need to consider the other scenario. The other scenario, since x minus 1 and x and y plus 1 are consecutive, we have that y plus 1 is less than x minus 1. And since they're consecutive, we have that y plus 1 plus 1 equals x minus 1 in this scenario. So simplifying a tad bit, we have that y plus 3 is equal to x. Now, since y plus 3 is greater than y, by the same logic, we have that x is greater than y. So in both scenarios, we have that x is greater than y. So this statement alone is sufficient, meaning that we can answer the question no matter what the case, given the information from statement 1. So we can go ahead and eliminate some of the answer choices now that we know that statement 1 alone is sufficient. We can actually eliminate answer choice B, C, and E. So we're left with answer choice A or D, since statement 1 alone is sufficient. So we need to consider what statement 2 tells us. Scrolling down, let's go ahead and create some space for statement 2. And scrolling up just to read statement 2, we have that we're only given that x is an odd integer for statement 2. It's right here. Which can either be greater or less than y. It's not kind of dependent on it. So this statement alone is not sufficient. We can pick some examples. We don't know whether x is greater than y, just given that x is an odd integer. So an example would be if, say, y is 2 and x is 3, then yeah, x would be greater than y. But if y is 2 and x is 1, x is still odd, and x would not be greater than y. So because of this, this entire statement is not sufficient. We don't have enough information. So we can actually eliminate answer choice D, because statement 2 alone is not sufficient. So the correct answer choice is answer choice A.